what I recommend in terms of feeding pets are diets that have undergone feeding trials. So there's standards to which veterinary diets have to be manufactured to. So they have to have no more than this or enough of this and that sort of thing. So there's some standards out there, but they're pretty broad. And so pet food companies that go through the process of doing feeding trials, they do that based upon life stage of the animal. So that means that they're complete and balanced and the animal will thrive on the diet, and that's proven by a feeding trial, which is not necessarily guaranteed if the food didn't go through a feeding trial. So number one, it's going to be small, but it's somewhere on the bag and it'll say something about a feeding trial. In terms of raw food diets, the other hat I wear is, worried about antimicrobial resistance and infection control. And so there are, many studies out there that show that the risk of some of these pathogenic bacteria, including those that carry antimicrobial resistance genes, are higher in animals that are fed raw food diets. And I already described how we share microbes with our pets. And so that not only increases the risk for the pet, but increases the risk for everyone in the family. So some people feel very strongly about feeding raw food diets. So if you're going to do it, which I personally don't recommend, but everybody has their own reasons, and I'm not going to dissect that right now, then do it safely. And so one is to think about who else is in the household. So if there's particularly at-risk populations in your household, you might not want to do it. So really young children or other young animals, or anyone that's immunocompromised, it might not be the right thing for your household, even if it might be what you want to provide to your pet. And then there's at least one raw food diet company out there that has a veterinary nutritionist, which is important that it's a veterinarian that's also a nutritionist, that advises and formulates diets, so we know that they're complete and balanced. And then they also do a lot of quality control checking and checking the lots of their food for pathogenic bacteria. So if I was going to feed my dog a raw food diet, I would look for that. Cats, maybe there's some benefit. I don't know. I think that I have cats. I feel like it's a little gross, but so that's raw food. So if you're there's risk associated with it. If you're going to do it, minimize the risk by using a trusted company with a veterinary nutritionist, and that they check their lots for pathogenic bacteria. In terms of bland food diet, so that would be like the boiled chicken or the boiled hamburger and the rice. I think that's fine to provide a bland food for a few days if your dog has diarrhea. If the diarrhea persists beyond a few days, then you should probably take them into the vet. The key for providing that home cooked sort of bland diet for your pet is to make sure that you pick something that's reduced in fat. So if you're going to do a chicken, take off the skin. If you're going to do ground beef, try to choose something lean and boil it and skim off the fat, because the fat could be something that induces more GI distress to your